how I deal with people who give me constructive criticism.
First you educate them. If you can't educate them, you intimidate them. And if they still don't learn out of that, then you've got to eliminate them. Solve the problem.
What I do in my spare time away from YouTube.
I do the crystal meth. I'm on the House of Commons Home Affairs Select Committee as a specialist advisor. Then I do the House of Lords. I do the bare knuckle fighting on a Sunday. Then I try and sell opium to the Chinese.
How would I describe the fragrance community today?
It's full of prostitutes and drug dealers, all sorts.
What I think of other YouTube fragrance reviewers.
They're all in the swindle. Got no respect for them. No respect for them at all.
What a home economics lesson is like in an East London school.
People are getting stabbed to death over an onion.
What I said to my elderly mother when I took her out for a meal for her 88th birthday.
If you eat the meal, you pick up the bill. I said, you're going to pay for this. I said, you're going to pay in cash. I went, you got where I'm coming from.
How I refused to self-isolate after getting a positive COVID test.
I went, come on, stuff it. And they went, well, I went, stuff it. I went, you don't think I want your little bit of paper when you keep an eye on me? I've wiped out half of North London.
What I said to my girlfriend before asking her to dress up as Margaret Thatcher for sex.
This is going to sound weird, right? And I'm not weird.
What happened when I farted in the lift at work.
They knew it was me, but couldn't prove it.
What I said to the Uber Eats delivery guy after giving him a 50p tip.
I went, now get in your car and go, I'm not a good boy.
What I say when an attractive woman delivers my takeaway.
Will you marry me? We'll get on all right, don't we? I'm a nice person. Come in and have a cup of tea.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. So it's time for another viewer collection video. So this should be very, very interesting. And today we're going to have another UK based person who's very kindly sent me some information about 5 fragrances that he really likes from his fragrance collection. His name is Nicholas Smith and his Instagram is called Perfumed Angle. I'll link it in the description. This thing that I do with viewers' collections is open to anyone. You don't have to be any kind of influencer or have an Instagram, but the 2 people who've sent me usable good stuff so far happen to have Instagram. So we'll link the Perfumed Angle in the thing below. It is the Perfumed Angle, not Perfume Dangle, which would maybe be a different kind of Instagram, but either way, it's a good name. So let's have a look at it. We're going to find out a bit. What we do in this series then basically is that somebody sends me their top 5 fragrances, maybe the core of their collection, maybe tries to tell me what each one is for, what the place in their collection is. I critique it as if I've got any right to, but I do anyway. And then I maybe try and say, well, here's where you maybe could do better, and here's a suggestion for one more fragrance you might want to add. I kind of take it from a video series where I've seen Archie Luxury, the watch reviewer, review people's collections. Bit different with fragrances, so I'm wondering if the format works, but let's see if we can do it. He's very critical of some of the collections. I would like to be, but most people have nice collections. But let's see what happens. Don't forget, guys, right now we have a very good special offer where you can buy 2 bottles of fragrance from Naughton and Wilson, either 2 of Bon Vivant, 2 of Gravitas, or 1 of each, for a very special, amazing price. This has been going on a couple of weeks. It can't last much longer, and you do not miss the chance to snap this offer up. There's a link in the description, so you might want to check that out. Okay, so we'll read out his email to me, and he says, "Hi Dan, firstly I want to thank you for featuring me on your channel. You were one of the very first reviewers I stumbled across as I began searching for more information on fragrances about 7 to 8 years ago now, when the YouTube fragrance community were a significantly smaller group than they are today. It was your amusing but informative videos which helped shape my perfume journey." Thank you. So, a little about me. I'm Nicholas, or Nick, I don't mind either, and live about 8 miles north of Birmingham, England. Sorry to hear that. I would say my interests are fragrance, music, food, photography, and fitness in that order too. I always remember being interested in perfume since I was a young boy. I can remember my mum always wore Chanel No. 5, solid choice. My dad had some old stuff which he hardly wore. I think he had something called Peter England, which I can't even find anymore. Anyway, so my mum passed away 2 years ago, so I've been living with my dad, especially through lockdown, to keep him company and to be his carer to some extent. Well, that's very nice of you. I have my dad's no longer with me, and my mum's quite elderly, so I understand how that is. My profession is in financial services, which is ironic Given the outlay on perfumes, I could be accused of not being so good with money, haha. Well, you know what, guys, I mean, yes, fragrances, everyone's got to have some kind of hobby and stuff that they're into a little bit. Any man, any woman, everybody. And fragrances, of course, are expensive, but compared to a lot of other things you could be into, you know, if you're into flashy cars, jewelry, you know, watches, there's a hell of a lot more expensive, drugs, whatever. There's a lot of other things you can be into that are worse than fragrances, so don't feel bad. Okay, and I always say, you know, as long as it's within your means, it doesn't matter if you've got more fragrances than you need, as long as you're not bankrupting yourself. Right, so he says, most will know I'm a pretty passionate fan of Maison Christian Dior, and my collection continues to grow, with Vanille Diorama being my next target. I love my food, so trying new things, eating out, etc. And then I do love a good photograph, whether it's of a landscape or of a perfume bottle. I'm an amateur, but I do love to capture moments or places wherever possible, and this goes hand in hand with my fitness, which is basically hiking through local nature reserves near where I live. I try and get a standard 5-mile walk in every day, as well as piecemeal weightlifting, etc. Good for you. Exercise, very important for us guys, you know, well, anybody, doesn't matter what age. A big part of my life is music, and back in my youth I was in a couple of bands and was able to do a little bit of touring around the UK and play at a festival or two. A highlight, I guess, was supporting the Stranglers at a beer festival in Cambridgeshire. That never came to anything, though. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm exclusively based in the Instagram community from a social media perspective, and I tend to know my way around fragrances these days, so it's just liking the aesthetics or viewpoints of others. I'm interested in what you make of my top 5, and I would like you to add your suggestions to take it to the next level. I'm going to try and do that, so let's find out about the collection of the perfumed angle. Nick, let's go for it. So let's see what we've got. We're going to see some images on the screen of the ones I don't have, and I'll wave a bottle of the ones I do. So he says, I'll start with Maison Christian Dior Ombre Nuit, or Ombre Nuit. Okay, this is a 2018 release, and this is me talking now, not him. And there's only 2 notes in this one. 2018, perfumer, of course, Francois Demarchi, great man. The only listed notes are amber and Turkish rose. I've never smelled this. Amber fragrances, you know, amber is this old rock that's congealed over hundreds of thousands or millions of years. I'm not sure, does it have a smell? I don't know, but there's this kind of accord in perfumery called amber, not the same thing as ambergris, and it's kind of a warm, resinous, warming type of accord. Difficult to, we have this concept of an amber fragrance without really being able to isolate the thing that it's supposedly based on. So it's always a bit weird with amber, isn't it? Anyhow, you get the idea with amber, and it would go well, I guess, with a floral tone of rose. And let's see what he says, seeing as I'm going to offer little enlighten on a fragrance which I've not smelled. That doesn't matter, I can still pass comment. So he says, right, I can remember the first time that I tested it and had it on my arm as I walked about. I had to get a bottle or 2. The smaller of the 2 is my first bottle and supposedly original from its release. The second bigger bottle was bought to preserve my older bottle. Yeah, well, backup bottles, man, I'm against them now, because I've never actually got through an initial bottle and got to a backup bottle about 2 or 3 times, but a lot of the time I'm against it, guys. But hey, we've all done it. I love this as an evening night out fragrance, as it is mysterious and alluring, just like me. We'll be the judge of that, Nicholas. But okay, fine. Yes, it does sound like a really good, amber fragrances. Good for nights out. I think that the collection there from Dior, their privés, have some absolute knockouts, and I only have kind of one, which I will mention later. So he moves on. Second up is Tom Ford's Beau de Jour, which I have here somewhere. A favourite of mine too. I've got this version. I think he's got the private blend, but either way, which has been very close to knocking Ombre Nuit off top spot. Great classical leaning fougere with lavender is sat on a bed of ambery moss. Good description. Love at first sniff, and one of my first full bottles from private blend. This is now available only in the signature range. but this is fine as it hasn't been discontinued, full stop. Yeah, this is a superb scent. I absolutely love Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. For a long time I somehow ignored it, I don't know why, but once it came out in the signature range it was more affordable. I don't know if there's a huge difference in smell, but the consensus is it's pretty close to the original. It is one of the best fougères out there, and now that you can get it at this price, it's really a good value fragrance. So I think that's an excellent choice and a nice contrast. You've got a traditional fougère, my favourite style, something a bit more warming and maybe rich and floral with the Amber Nuit. Good stuff. Third on the list then is Eau Sauvage Parfum, also by Dior, in both formulas. So he says, I'm a big fan of Christian Dior, yes, we'd noticed, and folks on Instagram would attest to that. What can I say about this which can do it justice? A citrus aromatic to end all others. Only YSL Pour Homme, great scent, comes up to this level in my opinion. The 2012 version is darker with myrrh, but the 2017 is easier to wear with Elemi replacing myrrh. Yeah, both versions are great. This is the original 2012 version with bergamot, myrrh and vetiver, and the 2017 version skips the note of myrrh and has Elemi listed. It may have some other differences. So they're kind of similar, but the other version, the 2017, which comes with a kind of white or silvery label, is more like halfway between this one and maybe the original Eau de Toilette, which is great in my opinion. So yeah, both excellent. The old one discontinued, of course. So yeah, great choice. And they got, you know, really some quite grown-up fragrances here, sophisticated, nearly all niche actually, except the Eau Sauvage Parfum, but that's widely regarded as niche quality smelling from Dior. Okay, fourth is, and I guess, yeah, okay. Fourth, another Tom Ford, bloody hell. Hang on, 3 out of 5. Okay, we're going to have to talk about that. Venetian Bergamot. This was actually the first time I got my nose on the private blend, and it was an airport duty-free, having doused myself in it before boarding. I fell for the visceral bergamot in the opening and the transition to its peppery florals. It became the scent of the holiday. Great memories. So Venetian Bergamot, I don't have it. Claire from the Smurfy Girlie has it, so I've tried it many times. It's superb. I think it's discontinued now, isn't it? It's one of the really great, beautiful bergamots, citrus aromatic fragrances with a difference. I'll be really lazy and just look up some of the notes on Fragrantica because I don't know them off the top of my head. So let's see what they say about Venetian Bergamot. The note listing, it's a good way if you want a citrus aromatic that's different. It's called a woody spicy on there, but anyway. It was launched in 2015. You got bergamot, ginger, black pepper, pink pepper, gardenia, ylang ylang, love saying that, magnolia cedar, pepperwood, and then sandalwood, cashmere, and tonka, and amber. So really complex fragrance actually. There's more to it than just citrus. It does have beautiful bergamot, then the spiciness and floral elements. It is a really outstanding and different smelling type of citrus-based scent that is fresh. But has a lot going on. So I really rate that one very, very highly. So much more fun and more interesting than if you just opted for Neroli Portofino or Mandarino d'Amalfi for your kind of fresh one from the private blend. So I gotta hand it to you. I gotta be totally honest, as Archie Luxury would say, that Nick's collection so far is rather a delectable and well curated one. Last on the list, he says, is Atkinson's 24 Old Bond Street Triple Extract. And it has to be the triple extract every time. Double extract, but get it. Triple extract, now you're talking. I don't know the different versions of that. But anyway, whiskey and rose with an English gentleman vibe going on, which suits me down to the ground. I've been getting through the bottle so quickly. This is my second one at that. Good, I like people who really do use their fragrances. And I can also pair this up with the Mystic Essence. Fancy name for the oil. So I guess that's the same fragrance, different version. This would be something I might wear in the evening. And that sounds really good, whiskey and rose. Let's see if there's a bit more information about this. So it's called what? 24 Old Bond Street. Oh, that's, sorry. Okay, I've got the wrong end of the stick here, haven't I? What is this fragrance? I don't know anything about it. This is a great format for the video, isn't it? Okay, triple extract. So I'll be with you in a minute, guys. 24 Old Bond Street. Right, I'm searching that on Fragrantica. Yeah, I could have done preparation for the video. That might have been a good idea, but why be so obvious, eh? For Old Bond Street triple extract. Discuss. Just talk us amongst yourselves for a minute, guys. So this one, 2014, Christian Nagel. and this is a woody aromatic. It was launched in 2014. You got juniper berries, cardamom, whiskey, rose, black tea, ambergris, and pepper. Look, I like a boozy fragrance, so a boozy fragrance is good. Overall, what we get from your collection is very classy. You've got a good contrast of different kind of stuff. I actually was going to say we're going to have a word about 3 Tom Fords, but if you like Tom Ford, well, what's wrong with that? I think that's great. You know, I used to be really, this is a strange story. When I was a kid, I was really into Dire Straits, which was even, you know, back then considered pretty naff. And this was like the mid 80s. And I had like, whenever I got £3 or £4, I used to buy another cassette to listen to and Dire Straits album that I didn't have, like going back through the 70s and early 80s albums. And so I was obsessed. I get obsessed with things. And for one Christmas, I'd asked for their live album. I think it's called Love Over Gold, no, Live Alchemy or something. I wanted this live double tape thing. And my parents, you know, they could have bought me that. They had the money, but instead they decided, oh, you've got too many Dire Straits albums. We wanted to get you something different. So they bought me the Paul Simon one. What was it called? The album where he did stuff with South African people, and it was called it had the song You Can Call Me Al. Comment down below the name of that album. Actually, that was a good album, but I was like, it was really annoying. Like, if I like Dire Straits, Mum and Dad, just get me the album I want. I didn't ask for Paul Simon. You buy that for yourself. So I think if that's what you're into, and you have all your collection of fragrances has loads of Tom Ford, fine. If you collect guitars, you really like Gibson SGs, and you know 4 of the guitars are Gibson SGs, don't let anyone tell you that you need a Fender Stratocaster. So I'm fine with that. Good collection. I love what you've got there. If I was to add anything, I mean, I would just say you've only got one that I call a freshie, and Venetian Bergamot is a complex and interesting freshie, but it's not out and out really, really, really refreshing, zesty kind of stuff, but it's very good stuff, don't get me wrong. I'm going to give you 2 suggestions. First one's a bit boring and obvious, but there you go. I'm a Creed fanboy. Let me know if you are, Nick, but doesn't seem any in your top 5. Virgin Island water be another great summer holiday choice. It's not obvious, it's not bergamot heavy, it does have bergamot. Lime and coconut, very, very happy smelling. I think you could do with a little bit more freshness in your collection, or a few more, you know, one more at least out and out citrus freshie. And my other selection, which is probably more favourable for you, is actually the sadly discontinued Dior Cologne Blanche. This is an incredible fragrance from the Privé line, which has not been around for a few years now, but it's absolutely stunning stuff. So Cologne Blanche, I know you'd love this. And it's a citrus fragrance with a difference, because it has this lovely note of milky almond added to a very beautiful, crisp citrus kind of top. So I'll give you the note listing, guys. This Maison, this was it was Francis Kurjan who actually composed it. Woody Floral Musk, 2004, and you got sweet almond, orange, bergamot, rosemary, orange blossom, vanilla, and tonka bean. So it's kind of like Neroli Portofino 10 times better, with a little interesting twist of slight sweetness from the vanilla and almond. It's like somebody said it was like the smell of a beautifully moisturized baby's bottom or something like that. And that's really just probably not a good thing to say, but it has this real kind of baby lotion, clean Johnson & Johnson, but a million times better vibe about it. That would be a great summer holiday choice, and it sounds like you like non-obvious kind of smells for the most part. Great collection, guys. I thought that was really good. I want to get someone I can really be horrible to soon, but on this occasion I've been nice. Let me know what you thought about my assessment of this gentleman's collection, and I would also be interested to hear what you think of this new video format from me. Guys, thanks for watching. Whatever you're doing in life, let's project, and remember, sometimes life stinks, but we can always smell good. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bon Viveur by Naughton & Wilson, because life is meant to be enjoyed.
Thanks for watching. Whatever you're doing in life, let's project, and remember, sometimes life stinks, but we can always smell good. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.